Hello everybody, Shrouded Hand here. I thought it was time once again to do one of those videos where I look at a selection of strange news stories from around the world. Usually these are a bit more light-hearted than my typical videos, but I'll be honest, there's some pretty dark stories in here today, so strap in. Alright, this is a weird one. Russian tourist leaps to death fleeing ghost in Pattaya. Terrified tourist screamed about bulging-eyed phantom before fatal plunge. A Russian tourist high on marijuana plunged to his death from a Pattaya condo after telling a security guard that he was being hunted by a murderous ghost with bulging eyes. The 27-year-old man, named only as Mikhail, had been smoking heavily when he became convinced a phantom was trying to murder him. He ran frantically around the building before leaping from the 9th floor in the early hours of the morning, May the 22nd. So, police rushed to the scene, and there, next to Building B, they discovered Mikhail's body in a pool of blood. Officers cordoned off the area and covered the scene with a white sheet. In the dead man's room, police found marijuana, smoking paraphernalia, and no signs of a struggle, ruling out any foul play. Look at the state of that bong. That's definitely heavy usage, I'd say. A shaken security guard told police about the Russian's hallucinations. He was completely out of it. He kept saying a ghost with bulging eyes was chasing him and trying to kill him. He was terrified, running up and down the building like a madman. One resident also reported hearing chilling screams moments before his fall. He was yelling in this awful voice. It was like something out of a horror film. But until today, he seemed totally normal. So yeah, they found no evidence of an altercation or break-in. It appears the victim was hallucinating and jumped voluntarily. His body has been sent to autopsy to determine the exact cause of death. Well, I imagine falling from the 9th floor would have done it. Yeah, weird story. I don't know. I don't think cannabis is really known for causing these kind of visual hallucinations, unless it triggered some kind of psychotic episode in him. I'm not sure, but it's a weird story. No idea what happened here. Maybe there were some other drugs involved. Perhaps it was laced with something stronger, but very odd and a tragic end to that story. Yeah, I told you these were going to be dark stories today. 17-year-old Chinese girl accused of selling boyfriend into Myanmar scam compound slavery. The girl, named Zhu, who is currently facing prosecution, was allegedly involved in selling her 19-year-old boyfriend to a telecom fraud compound in Myanmar in early February. Zhu presented herself as being from a wealthy family that ran a business in Myanmar, and she suggested that they both work for the family business soon after they became a couple. Huang agreed to join Zhu on a trip to Bangkok, Thailand, and then to travel with her to the Myanmar border. However, the men who met them at the border did not welcome Huang as expected. They carried guns and immediately demanded that Huang hand over his passport and mobile phone. He was then taken by the armed men to a scam compound where he was forced to work while Zhu returned to Thailand. With external assistance, Huang was eventually able to purchase his freedom for around $49,000. A typical day at the compound saw Huang working between 16 and 20 hours. He lost 10 kilograms in weight during the 4 months that they imprisoned him, and he suffered permanent hearing loss as the result of the beatings he received while there. His story is not unusual. Many victims who were forced to work as slaves in the Myanmar scam compounds have subsequently reported that violent punishment was meted out to anyone who failed to meet targets for the number of people they were required to scam each day. So Zhu spent 10 days in Thailand but was detained by police upon her return to China. She now faces a potential prison sentence of 10 years. Okay, pretty disturbing story. You know, I watch a lot of these scam baiting YouTube channels. I do quite enjoy seeing the scammers getting wound up, but now I know that some of them might be forced into it. I don't know, maybe I'll view those scam baiting videos in a slightly different light. But yeah, anyway, disturbing story. On to the next. Here's one from June. Salt Lake man allegedly attempts to attack with wooden stake, claims his victim was a werewolf. A Salt Lake City man was arrested after allegedly attacking another man with a wooden stake, claiming his victim was a werewolf and threatening to pierce his heart. Officers were dispatched, receiving several reports of an attack. According to the arrest documents, 24-year-old Jose Manuel Perez was getting lunch with the victim when he suddenly began hitting him. The victim attempted to escape several times, but Perez reportedly put him in a chokehold to stop him. He then pulled out a wooden stake with a nail protruding from it and told the man that he was going to pierce his heart. The victim eventually fought back and escaped. However, Perez allegedly took the man's backpack and fled the scene. Officers later found Perez with the victim's backpack and several rocks in his pockets. He reportedly told police that he was armed because he believed the victim was going to kill him. Perez admitted to taking the backpack but claimed it wasn't robbery, saying police were going to return it to the victim. Let's see the comments on this one. Shizzy's got the right idea. Hey, it happens. One has to be prepared for such creatures. I guess Shizzy carries around a stake at all times then. Rob riposts with, silver though, not a wooden stake, wrong genre. Yeah, that's true. Silver for a werewolf, wooden stake for a vampire. Love, love, hate. Probably was a werewolf. People seem convinced that this is actually a true case of a werewolf. I don't know. No one seems very skeptical of this story. Wait, what? Guy puts someone in a chokehold and is going to run a stake through his heart and is only arrested for aggravated robbery over a backpack that the victim left. That's true, isn't it? This seems more like a case of attempted murder, but he was only arrested for robbery. Who knows? Strange story. Okay, and there is another one along similar veins here. This one's got a bit more of a tragic end, though. Minnesota man shot and killed neighbour because he believed him to be an alien. Charges say southern Minnesota man last week shot and killed his older neighbour whom he believed to be an alien. The 38-year-old man from Windham, Minnesota has been charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder. Officers found the victim, a 70-year-old woman, suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. She was able to speak to an officer, telling them that she believed she was shot but she did not see the firearm. She added that the suspect had called her saying he needed help and that she had gone to his house around 45 minutes earlier. The woman was transported to Windham Hospital where she later died. An autopsy found that she had been shot 7 times. She died due to blood loss from the gunshot wounds. A witness told investigators that the suspect had woken him up to sit on a couch when he began talking about aliens, allegedly stating that he thought his neighbour was an alien and that an alien ship was coming to take them. The witness recalled seeing the victim, hearing gunshots and seeing flashes, then the victim leaving. Charges say the witness was scared and ran to the neighbour's house where they found her on the floor and then they called 911. Whilst the police were responding to the shooting, they also received a call at around 5:30 a.m. from a woman saying that a man had broken into her nearby home. Upon arriving at the residence, police reported seeing a significant amount of broken glass and blood within the entrance, and they heard the sound of moaning and running water coming from the bathroom area. Inside the bathroom, officers found a suspect in the bathtub. They removed him and placed him in handcuffs, noting that the water in the tub was blood-stained. And that's where the story ends. No comments on this one. I guess most of the comments would be people saying maybe she was an alien. But yeah, a woman died. Pretty horrible story. But interesting, these 2 stories, June and July of this year. Something weird's going on. Alright, here we go. Big butt starfish and little sweet potato and dozens of never before seen species recorded during deep sea expedition off Argentina. I mostly wanted to show the starfish. Here it is. Gaze upon it. There we go. It's a starfish with a big arse. It's been nicknamed the big butt starfish and people have been commenting on it because it bears a resemblance to Patrick Star from SpongeBob SquarePants. I can see that. There's a resemblance there. Okay, that's it. Nice. Alright, here's another sea-related one. Killer whales are giving fish to humans worldwide. What's going on? Killer whales have been repeatedly seen offering food to humans in the wild, a behaviour that's baffling researchers. The whales often lingered or made second attempts, raising questions about their intent and their capacity for cross-species connection. From California to New Zealand, 34 documented incidents reveal orcas bringing fish, rays and squid to people in the water, on boats or even on shore. Scientists say this behaviour, usually seen between whales as a bonding act, may show a surprising willingness to connect with humans. In some cases, the whales even tried more than once after being turned down, as if waiting for a response. What drives this mysterious generosity? So they gathered a number of cases over 20 years. In 11 of these encounters, the people were in the water. In 21 cases, they were on boats. And in 2, they were standing on the shore. Some of these moments were captured in photos and videos. It makes sense, according to the researchers, because orcas are intelligent and social animals, and they use food sharing as a way to build relationships with kin and unrelated individuals. Weird, I don't know, is there any videos? I kind of want to see if there's a video of a whale giving food to humans.
The whales then grabbed the item, whatever they had left, and either...
Mute this. What's he bringing there? Looks like a bit of steak. Looks like a rack of ribs. Oh, lovely. A dead bird. Yeah, they are just like cats, aren't they? Well, there we go. Fascinating. Okay. Mystery as man dies on US flight, but then completely disappears. The body of an 83-year-old passenger who died mid-air on a Turkish Airlines flight has reportedly gone missing. Flight TK79 took off from Istanbul and was in the air for almost 12 hours when a passenger had a severe medical emergency on July 13th. The unnamed individual died while the plane was flying over Greenland, with the decision being made to carry on to Chicago. This is because Chicago O'Hare Airport has suitable medical facilities to deal with an in-flight death. However, after touchdown, the dead body has seemingly disappeared into thin air. Turkish Airlines say the corpse was removed from the plane and transferred to a flight to San Francisco, but the local medical examiner's office told the US media that it never received the body. The Cook County office also does not have records documenting the death or confirming a transfer. The remaining passengers continued on their way to San Francisco in a separate flight. No more information has been released about the identity of the person who died on board. What I can't get from these stories is at what point exactly the body disappeared. Oh, so the body was removed from the plane upon landing in Chicago, but they say that they have no record of the body being brought to them from this flight. But then Turkish Airlines say that the passengers' remains were then put on a flight to San Francisco, but they didn't elaborate any further. My guess is the body remained on the plane and at some point returned to Turkey. Who knows why? It seems like Turkish Airlines are being a bit cagey about the situation. Yeah, a weird mystery. There's a corpse out there somewhere, so where is it? Elderly woman conned by romance scammer posing as a stranded astronaut. Police say the victim was told the fake astronaut spaceship was under attack. An 80-year-old woman in Japan sent money to an online fraudster who told her that he was an astronaut stranded on a spaceship and he needed the cash to buy oxygen. How does that work? I don't know. Did she think they had some kind of oxygen dispensing vending machine in space? I don't know. The sad thing about a lot of these scams is they are deliberately stupid. So when you see these scam messages, I know everyone's had them, when they're all misspelt and they're obviously fake, they're kind of done that way on purpose because they're trying to rope in the kind of people who will fall for the scam and send them money. So the pair first met on social media in July in what police described as a romance scam. The scammer told the victim, who lives in Japan's northern Hokkaido island, that he was an astronaut, and they continued to develop their online relationship. The fraudster eventually told her that he was in space on a spaceship right now and was under attack and in need of oxygen. She was then persuaded to transfer around 1 million yen, about £5,000. So yeah, it's a story of an old lady getting scammed. There's a million out there. Just the method, the lie made up by the scammer is an unusual one. Creepy find. Homeowner heard strange noises coming from floorboards, leading to cops' disturbing discovery and arrest of man. A disturbing discovery was made by cops after a homeowner reported hearing noises coming from underneath the floorboards. The strange noises, paired with unusual sightings made by neighbours, led to the arrest of a 40-year-old man in Oregon. Residents had reported a suspicious circumstance at the property relating to the crawl space. Someone had seen a man they did not recognise from the complex parking his car and walking to the rear of one of the buildings. They also noticed that lights were on inside the crawl space and that the door had been left open. The owner also reported that they'd heard strange noises coming from the crawl space before. Officers went to investigate the crawl space and found that the door was damaged and locked, as well as spotting an extension cord running through a vent. The deputies breached the door and located a man identified as 40-year-old Benjamin Bakur. He had taken significant steps to improve the conditions of the crawl space and was obviously living inside. Images of the makeshift home that Bakur made in the crawl space show bed, string lights, a television and other electronics, as well as shopping bags and water. Here's some pictures of it. He'd really made himself at home here. Look, he'd strung lights up all over. Unless they were there to begin with. Got himself a little seat. Cops said that they also found traces of methamphetamine and drug paraphernalia. He was arrested and charged with burglary in the first degree and drug offences. And there's his, look, he's got his little TV set up there. Yeah, looks pretty cosy, I'll be honest. Here's another disturbing find. Man makes creepy discovery inside gift-wrapped box on beach. Something you would see in a horror movie. A man and his family were celebrating Father's Day at a Washington beach in June when he came across something very creepy. While he was walking down Dash Point Beach at Dash Point State Park with his wife and 2 kids, he discovered a box that resembled a Christmas package. At the time, Ewing was walking ahead of his family in search of feathers when he spotted the box wrapped in a green cloth with a yellow string tied around it. Ewing, who has Native American ancestry, said he believed it could have been a prayer bundle or some type of message in a bottle, so he opened the box. That's when he found a severed human toe, among other items. Inside the green cloth was a pine box shut with tape and containing a pocket knife, a feather, grass, sage, lavender, tobacco and a rag, which wrapped around the dismembered big toe. I set the box down on the ground, I believe, and used my knife to pick the rag up and open it, and it was a severed human big toe that was in there. At first I was very shocked, and it took me a few minutes to be kind of like, is that what I think it is? Then once it dawned on me that that's what it was, I set everything down. Near the boxed toe was a seagull which appeared to have been skinned and mutilated. He said it was unclear if the 2 discoveries were related, so the toe was then transported to the King County Medical Examiner's office for DNA match, and they're now trying to cross-reference any potential cases related to a severed big toe. The toe is the same size as that of an adult male. They indicated that there was severe decomposition, so it's not thought to be from a recent amputation. Could they have taken it off a corpse? Could there be grave robbers? So the father who found the box wondered if there was someone out there playing some kind of weird, sick game. He also said that he left the area after he realised what he'd found in case there was someone hiding in the bushes. Just very odd, he said. The toe definitely didn't look like it had been amputated. It definitely didn't look like a surgeon had taken it off. It didn't look like a very clean medical cut. I tried to look for some kind of update on this story. The only thing I could find was this. According to Public Health Seattle and King County, the toe was found to have been medically amputated and not related to a death. And they say there will be no further investigation. Does that mean they found out who owns the toe? Maybe it was removed during surgery and someone just kept it and put it in a box? I honestly don't know. Strange that they say there'll be no further investigation, but if they've got more information on this, it doesn't seem like they've shared it with the news outlets, so I don't know. Weird. News from India. Toddler bites cobra to death after it coiled around his hands. An infant in northern Indian state of Bihar reportedly bit a cobra to death after it coiled around his hands. The 1-year-old boy, identified only by his first name Govinda, bit the cobra whilst he was playing at his home in the small town of Betia near the Indo-Nepal border. When we saw the snake in the child's hand, everyone rushed towards him, but in the meantime he'd already bit the snake, killing it on the spot. After biting the snake, the boy fainted and was rushed to a primary healthcare centre, The venom's effects were reportedly mild, only knocking the boy unconscious but not fatal. Not only bites and kills a cobra, but also survives the cobra's venom. Indian kids are built different, I guess. Goblin found in Zimra smuggled goods operation. There's a video, we'll watch that in a second. In a startling turn of events, the Zimbabwe Revenue Authority team have uncovered a bizarre discovery whilst inspecting smuggled goods from South Africa. A goblin, locally referred to as Chidhoma. The unusual find was made during a routine operation aimed at curbing illegal smuggling activities. A video shared online shows the goblin was found nestled among various contraband items. Okay, so I've hyped myself up. You ready? I've not seen this video yet, so I'm hoping it's amazing. Let's see. What? Here we go. Oh, there it is, look. Yeah, there's the goblin. I think this is it. Yeah. It looks like a mask. Yeah, hold on. These look like Halloween masks. Is it? Maybe not, but yeah, what is that bag? That looks like a bag of Halloween decorations. Apparently this is what a Chidhoma looks like. The owner of a Chidhoma can summon it and make the victim paralysed and unable to speak. This is the 39-second version of this video. I'm not even sure this is a video, you know. It looks like it's just a... Why embed the video and not let me click on it? I'm Kenyan, please let me watch the video. No, I don't know. It's just not letting me click. The definitive version, 39 seconds of footage of the goblin, but no, it won't let me. Alright, whatever. There we go. Goblin's been found during a smuggling operation. Yeah, a goblin. Okay, I'm going to finish off with... What the hell's this? Wait, hold on. Oh yeah. Is she a witch? A mysterious figure floating in the air has been filmed and no one knows what it is. A video shows a silhouette suspended in the air for several minutes with no visible movement beyond a slight oscillation. A young woman recorded from her apartment window a disturbing silhouette which seemed to float across the sky, which some internet users have described as a witch. Several paranormal experts and social media users have debated the nature of the figure. Some claimed it could be paranormal, and others suggest it could be an optical illusion or even a digital montage. Here's the witch.
Just see.
To me, that looks like a rocket going up. Oh, now it's changing shape.
Just see.
It looks kind of like a balloon or like a bit of cloth wrapped around something. So as it turns, it kind of looks like it changes shape. No idea what it actually is. It reminds me of, there was a story a couple of years back where people at a UFO convention had filmed this humanoid figure floating in the air. And there were multiple witnesses to this thing, and it turned out that it was some YouTubers that had been filming a video. I think it was maybe a stormtrooper balloon that they'd filled with helium, and then they accidentally released it and it flew up into the air, and from miles away on the ground it looked like something really weird, but it's probably something like that. I don't know, but there we go. It's a penguin. Who knows? I'm not claiming I know what that is. All I can say for sure is it's probably something, right? Anyway, I'm going to end it here. I usually show a few weird videos or photographs in these weird news episodes that I do, but there hasn't been a whole lot this time. It's mostly been pretty depressing stories of people being killed or scammed or kidnapped. So yeah, I thought I'd end with at least one or two weird videos. A goblin and a witch. What more can you ask for? Alright, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you for watching. As always, thank you to everyone on Patreon for the support. Much appreciated. I'll try and do another one of these videos soon. People seem to enjoy them. I just kind of ran out of weird news stories to cover. I didn't want to just churn them out for the sake of it. I wanted to wait until I'd found some decent stuff. So there we go. Stay tuned for more. And if you're new to my videos, then why not subscribe to the channel? lots of high quality content like this to come. Alright, catch you later everybody. Until next time, goodbye.